The Reformed Gamers is brought to you 100% independent and ad-free thanks to our dear patrons over on patreon.com/reformedgamers to get yourself sweet, sweet perks such as uncut early access to the episodes, special episodes of the podcast, and more. Head on over to patreon.com/reformedgamers and consider lending support and joining the herd. Without further ado, let's hop into the show. Hello and welcome, dear listeners, to episode 176 of the Reformed Gamers, a show all about theology, video games, and just standing in awe at Xbox going into Super Saiyan mode and just wowing us left and right. Well, that's what I was going to say. I guess I'm your Xbox host, Logan. And joining me on this episode is one of our admins from the TRG Facebook group, the Xbox man extraordinaire? Yeah, let's go with extraordinaire. Steven, what is up, man?
What up, TRG? I am ecstatic to be here on another exciting episode of the Reformed Gamers podcast series X, where we'll be discussing the best of Xbox One generation. How exhilarating. I am happy to be on the show, Logan. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. Now, as I understand it, you brought on a special guest of your own.
Oh, yes. I would also like to introduce another extraordinary person to the show. I brought my first offspring to the podcast, who is also a fellow gamer. Say hello, honey.
Hello. Thank you, Logan, for letting me be on the show and be my dad on here and talk about one of my favorite things, video games.
Well, we're glad to have you. And to be honest, we had to have you on because, as we all know, if you guys were in the Xbox live stream react thing that Steven and his daughter did, I think a month or two ago, his daughter is the superior gamer of the two. Wow. So we had to get her on because clearly she knows what she's talking about. And Steven just kind of knows what he's talking about. So
I just provide the funding for her games.
Yes, he does.
And she knows.
Better than him.
Yeah, I know your KD's better. I have better skins than you, though.
Oh, money can get you.
Oh, man. I can already tell this is going to be an awesome episode. Dear listeners, in case you're wondering, Adam couldn't make it to the episode tonight. We actually were supposed to... Words are hard. Yeah, you know how it is. We were supposed to record last week, but then different things came up on our schedules. We weren't able to record, and so we pushed it back to a week later, and then things just came up again. I mean, you know how ministry is. Things just happen, and so he wasn't able to make it to this recording. I really think it was because you were coming on, Steven, and he didn't want to get into a debate with you about Xbox and games and stuff.
That is it. I guarantee it, because, all the times I have to keep listening to the podcast and me kind of shaking my fist towards New York of all the times he'd be bashing on my Xbox. And so now that I'm on the show, I don't see him. But, Adam, I love you, man.
Have turned badly, but yet good.
Yes, what she said, too.
That's awesome. Well, anyway, dear listeners, we are recording after pretty much pre-orders have went live for the PS5 and the Xbox Series systems. Hopefully you guys got your systems. Hopefully you actually pre-ordered the correct Xbox system, because apparently the Xbox One X skyrocketed in sales on the pre-order day. So hopefully
Record
you got
sale,
the right
baby.
One.
Be a lot of happy kids, right? In Christmas.
I mean, if you think about it,
Surprise.
if they just get GamePass, they're kind of set. So it's not that big of a
system. I mean, I have two of them.
See, there you go. Steven has two of them. That's how big of an Xbox fan he is. But that being said, dear listeners, if you guys got your systems, let us know. Tweet at us, send us messages on Instagram or Facebook. Steven, I know you got one, man. You actually hooked me up with one. Greatly appreciate that. But wait, I totally messed that up. I was going to say, did you get one? And then I just kind of went, I am bad at spoilers, guys. You should know this from our Last of Us Part 2 episode. I'm getting old now. My brain's not working like it used to. And anyway.
No, let's go golfing.
Let's just
I
yeah.
was gonna
Oh
say
gosh,
that.
no, that's actual
I was
sports.
wondering to say that.
But yeah, so anyway, we got our Xboxes. We're excited. I'm pretty stoked, and I'm gonna be honest. I think I might have to. So I brought this up in the group. If I got because I got an Xbox pre-order before I got the PlayStation 5. What does this mean, man? Am I post mill now? Am I a mill? What is this?
It's 2020, bro. Things are changing real fast.
That's
in a lot
true.
of different ways.
My question is, why do you have an Xbox and a PlayStation? Why are you ordering both? I mean,
because
it's like putting Ring and Nest together.
It's because I like to bring balance to the Force and not try to destroy it. Plus, I like my platinum trophies a little too much. You know what I'm saying? So
Thanos also wanted to bring balance as well.
Oh, well, that's a twist. I guess I'm a super villain now. Anyway, but we'll talk more about my plans of taking over the world and things of that nature later, guys. Hello and welcome to the Reformed Gamers. Let me do a little bit of housekeeping before we get into the topic of the show, finishing out our best of series. Just a few things I want to point out. Apparently, we've gotten like a huge influx of new listeners recently. So, hello, welcome to the Reformed Gamers. I don't know how you guys found us, but I'm glad you're here. Clearly, it was predestined. And so we're glad to have you. A few things that you guys should check out is some new content up on the website. You know, one of the things that we have been noticing on our website is there have been a lot of searches directing people to our website with the terms, can Christians play Dark Souls? And so I thought, it's time to make an article literally titled that, Can Christians Play Dark Souls? So that is up on our website. You can go check that out. Wesley just finished covering all 3 Mario games that are in the Mario 3D All-Stars collection. So you can go check out the retrospectives on that. And we added a news section. So we're going to be covering some different news articles and things like that on the website. So if you need to stay up to date with your news, follow us on Twitter. But if you want more in-depth stuff of like Xbox prices and PlayStation and all that, go to the website. But yeah, link will be in your show notes. Go check that stuff out. You will enjoy it. Also, join our Discord server. Link will be in your show notes. We'd love to have you over there. And as always, you can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/theologan. I stream every Friday and Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Currently working on the Platinum for Concrete Genie. Would love for you to stop by and hang out with us over there. As always, if you like what we do here at the TRG, you can go over to patreon.com/thereformedgamers. Consider lending support to the show for as low as $1 a month. Get you early access to all of our episodes and other fun perks. And if you're a patron, you might be getting early access to our merch store when that goes live. Just saying, little bit of a teaser. You might have exclusive swag. You might have a chance at some exclusive slag that's only available. Swag. You'll have exclusive access to slag and swag on our website. I can't talk tonight. You'll have exclusive. You guys get the hint. But if you can't support us financially, we totally get it. We do ask that you would give us a rating and review of the show on your podcast app of choice. If you have received any value from this show, maybe it's been entertainment from me fumbling over words, or we've helped you enjoy your games better to the glory of God, leave us a rating and review on the website. Thank you so much to those of you that have been doing that over on iTunes. Greatly appreciate that. Without further ado, let's hop into the show. And as always, when we hop into the show, the guests get to go first. So, Steven, Afia, what have y'all been playing?
All right. So I guess I'll go first. So I am excited to talk about the what's called Project xCloud, but the cloud gaming service from Xbox. Yeah, I've been playing that a lot lately, especially during my lunch breaks.
How's that been,
recently, man? For the majority of the time, it works really well. But in my office, because they had us separated so that we have to like be pigeonholed to a certain corner and kind of keep social distancing. So I am near the broiler room at the bottom of like the company and by myself at my desk. So like when I'm using cloud streaming there, it doesn't work that well because it doesn't seem like I have that much reception. But for the majority of the time, since I do have a new Android 5G phone, the experience has been pretty decent. I would say it's not like perfect, but it's been such a, it's a good feeling that I can just pop in my Razer Kishi and pop my phone right into there. And recently I just beat Battletoads. It's a funny game. Funny game. Some great nostalgia there. I love the acting, the cut scenes where it's like I want to finish the level just to get to the next cutscene to see what's going to happen next. It's just hilarious. And like the cartoon animation is great. It's not a perfect game, but only big critique I have on it, I wish it was a bit longer. It seemed pretty short. Like I beat it in like less than 5 hours. But that was a great game. I'm also going through Bloodstained Symphony of the Night through the gaming app as well, the cloud gaming app. That's been pretty cool. Experience playing it kind of like a platformer on my phone. And of course, I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends with Afia, and her and I. That's once we get home and we wind down for the day after a good long day of work, all we want to do is just shoot people on Apex and then go to sleep.
Kill people.
Yeah,
feels good.
And game, real game.
Yeah. I hate the serial killer.
How about you, Afia? So Apex Legends, right?
Normally Apex. I mean, once in a while, like on my Nintendo, but yeah. I play Xbox most of the time. I started going on Rocket League again, but yeah. And yeah, Battletoads. I haven't beat the game yet, but it's fun, funny, entertaining. I like it.
Right on. Sounds good. Sounds like a lot of good times. So, then as far as what I've been playing, I got back into Outer Worlds, started playing that again. And when I originally played it, when it came out last year, wasn't really... like there's things I was enjoying, but I ultimately gave up on it because I just kind of got bored with it. But now that I'm playing it on, my awesome PC, I'm playing it in a way that I don't normally play these games. Normally when I play a game that gives you character choices like in Mass Effect or even this game, I try to pick the good options, right? Like I want to be the good guy. But my playthrough of this is pretty much whatever I'm feeling at the time. If someone's annoying me, I'm going to pick the bad options. I'm going to pick the ones that just lets me get through this as fast as possible. There was one scene or one segment I just went through where I had to, there were these two different factions that were using this broadcast relay that I needed to use to help track down some ship. And so I had to go to those two factions and tell them like, hey, you need to stop using this thing. And one of them was this really weird, like cult sort of thing where they were basically teaching and preaching about what is essentially the Force. Mm-hmm. And they were just kind of getting on my nerves. I was like, okay, you guys are really just dragging this out and it's really annoying me. And there was an option to basically just go in guns blazing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that because these guys are just getting on my nerves. And so I basically destroyed their entire camp and it was awesome. And then the other guy... it was a great time. I loved it. I had a blast, literally and metaphorically. And then the other faction I went to, I was talking to them, and they were just kind of goofy and eccentric. I'm like, I like you guys. You make me laugh. You get to live. And so they agreed to talk relay. I'm like, all right, well, I'm done. And so it's just whatever I'm feeling in the moment. I guess it's just completely chaotic neutral, as those of you that would play D&D would call it, or maybe it's chaotic evil. I don't know what it is. You guys can let me know.
Organized chaos.
Organized chaos. There you go. Yeah. It's more fun that way. Like instead of trying to be the good guy all the time, it's just fun
to fix the fonts.
So I'm playing it on PC and the fonts are great there. Now I know that they patched it on the consoles and I had it on PS4 and I played it there after they patched it and it was better, but it only worked on what was it for? There was one section it worked. It was just the subtitles. So like in the text boxes, but when you go into the menus and stuff, they were still like small, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. But that game's been out for almost a year now. So I'm sure they've fixed all that by now. On PC, it's great though.
Made me want to take a quick trip to the eye doctor. I swear I couldn't even see the menus. It was terrible.
That's how I was when I first.
That was a fun game. Like I remember though, there was one portion of the game in which I had to make a decision on this one guy and I literally didn't want to do any harm to this guy, but like the third option was something, I forgot what it was, but it was like, well, the guy was upset about something. I'm like, well, sucks for you type of option. Mm-hmm. And it didn't seem violent. And so when I selected that, all of a sudden the guy just started shooting at me and then my companion started beating him to a bloody pulp. and the whole town starts shooting at me. I'm like, great, I wasn't even trying to pick a fight.
That's awesome.
Good times.
That seems to be the case for the case for most RPGs, like, because that happened to me in Mass Effect a lot, where it gave you an option and it's like, this doesn't seem too bad, and then you press it and then like Shepard punches the guy and you're like, wait.
Wait, well, hold on. Well, that escalated quickly.
Yes it did, but that's just a staple.
Is life like that, or you're kind of like, oh, that sucks for you, and the person like socks you in the face or something?
That's
like,
what the heck, man? That's a philosophical question right there.
It's just like real life, actually. It's exactly
I don't want you to try that in real life, baby.
I don't want to either.
Please don't.
That's awesome. But yeah, so that's Outer Worlds. Enjoying it, having fun with it, causing chaos whenever I just feel like it, and it's more fun that way. Also been playing Super Mario 3D All-Stars, the collection that just came out that has Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy in it. And I've played them all for at least an hour or two. And I tweeted this out a couple weeks ago that Super Mario 64 is nigh unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have like 32 stars in it. So, I mean, it's like, there's times where I really enjoy that game. Like, there's moments where you just pull off a good combo of jumps or something like that, and it feels really good. And then there's other times where you want Mario to go a certain direction, but then he runs in like a curve to start going in that direction. Mm. And so he runs off the platform you're standing on into the lava, and then the camera gets locked somewhere, and then you can't really see where you're going. It's just, it's definitely a retro game, I'll say that much. Mm. And it has not aged well, to the point where I really enjoyed playing Super Mario Sunshine with what little time I spent with it. And then Super Mario Galaxy I also really enjoyed. But playing all three of those games just makes me want to play Super Mario Odyssey, because that game just played so well.
Yeah,
game was smooth.
Love that game.
In Mario 64, did you drop the penguin?
Several times.
Yes, my boy.
Several times. It might have been an accident, air quotes, but there was a few times where it definitely was not an accident. So that's what the penguin gets, man. Cool Mountain is
you're getting the full experience.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to fully get into it. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't know if I'm going to finish Super Mario 64, to be completely honest. Like, I want to really bad just to say I did it, but I started finding levels like, what was it? Levels 10, 11, and 12. No, I didn't find level 12. It was level 13. And that's where the camera has been the worst in my entire playthrough. And I don't know if I'm going to persevere to the end. We'll see, but it's really testing me to the point where here's how bad it is. You guys know I hate Cuphead. I would much rather play Cuphead than play Super Mario 64 right now. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is.
My. That bad.
Couldn't even barely get past the tutorial. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'll talk about Cuphead in a little bit.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move over to what have we been reading? What have y'all been getting into here recently?
All right. So we have been going through the Bible, and specifically in 1 Samuel. So we recently have finished the Gospel of Mark as a family. And then, and also Acts. We completed Acts. And so we wanted to kind of go into the Old Testament and, venture the life of Samuel and eventually to King David. So we just completed 1 Samuel chapters 5 through 6, in which the Philistines have defeated the Israelites, and they took the Ark of the Covenant with them. And because they has seized the Ark of the Covenant, their false fish god Dagon kind of just fell on its face and cracked its head and its arms open. That was pretty cool to read. And everyone started breaking up in tumors, like, oh, this ark is getting us sick. Pass it to the next Philistine city. Oh, we're getting sick too with tumors. Why is this thing here? And I don't know, let's put some, get some milk cows and put a yoke on it and send it back to Israel. So it's been a pretty, cool, read through so far, and I'm kind of excited of kind of sharing that with Afia, because as a father, I'm a big proponent of reading it verse by verse, chapter by chapter. And so she can kind of understand the context of what's going on. So that's how we roll in our family, our devotions. And, that's what we're currently reading together.
That's awesome, man. I love hearing you say that you like going verse by verse, which is really the biblical way. It's just how you do it. That's how you do it. You let Scripture interpret Scripture.
She mentioned about, do you recall when Samuel heard that voice as a kid, when a voice was saying, Samuel, Samuel, and he's like, he thought Eli was talking to him, and Eli like, no, that's the Lord. Well, Afia, you said that you heard that in Sunday school. You're like, wait, I heard this before. But then since we started reading it from chapter 1 to that point, it kind of made a lot more sense to her why he's kind of responding that way, kind of giving the background.
I never knew who Eli was. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, Eli the priest and his 2 wicked sons. And, with all that context, really magnified that part of that section which you learned from Sunday school.
That's cool. That's awesome. That is awesome. Love it. Well, as far as what I've been getting into then, I was going to talk about another book that I had finished on here, but that was, last week, and it's been a couple days since then. And so kind of wanted to bring up this verse that I had been studying to share with my students on Wednesday nights. And it was Philippians 4, verse 6, the one that we've all heard that says, do not worry about anything, but in everything through prayer and petition, bring your request before God with thanksgiving. And I thought that was a very timely verse because See You at the Pole was recently. If you guys don't know what that is, if you're unfamiliar with that, it's basically the third Wednesday in September where students across the country gather at their school's flagpole to pray for their community, their country, and any other prayer requests that they bring up. And some students tend to get really into it where they'll play music or they'll worship together through song or they'll have different things going on. But, this year with COVID and everything, it's been a little more limited. But we still had a good turnout. And I wanted to bring that verse up to him for a few different reasons. One, because the year, it's been 2020, so it's kind of obvious that we need to be praying, but also because anxiety is at an all-time high across the entire world, really, with lockdowns and everything that's going on. And I think it was just very well timed, and it's been kind of kicking me in the teeth a little bit here. Because I worry a lot. Anyone that's listened to the show any length of time or has stopped by my Twitch streams, very open about how I deal with or wrestle with anxiety and things like depression. And so this verse was pretty challenging even for me because I worry about literally everything. And so it's been a good challenge for me to just really think about, okay, what do I do when I get anxious? What is the first thing I do? Is my response to actually pray and give it to God, or is my first response to hold on to it, worry about it, and then play show and tell with God? Like, God, here's my problems. I don't really expect you to do anything with them, so I'm going to go back over here and kind of mess with them myself and try to fix it. Mm-hmm. And I realize that I often do that. I just do show and tell with God with my anxiety, and then I try to handle it myself. And I'm like, that's completely the wrong way to do things. Like, that's not what I'm supposed to do. And so it's been good. It's been good. I think it challenged my students when I told them that on Wednesdays. And so I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what God does through that. And so that being said, I'm kind of making this switch to like praying more for people. So dear listeners, if you guys have a prayer request, hit me up on Twitter, Facebook. I'm in the Discord server as well. The cool thing about the Discord server is there's a prayer request channel in there. So if you have one, drop it in there. And I may not verbally say it in chat, that I'm praying for you, but you can know that I'm praying for those prayer requests that drop in there. So there we go. It's a lot of fun. So guys, before we get into the topic, just a quick reminder to rate and review the show on your podcast app of choice. But let's get into the topic of the show. Last episode we started a best of series as one generation of consoles is coming to an end and a new one is starting up. Not everyone's going to be upgrading, and that's fine. And the great thing about these new consoles, too, is that they're going to be backwards compatible with a lot of these games. And so we figured, if you missed out on some of these games, let's just do a best of series where these are the games that you need to check out depending on what platform you're playing on. So last episode we did PlayStation 4. So if you missed that, go back and check that out. In this episode, we're going to cover the Xbox One. And this is where we prove that Xbox actually does have games. And so this is going to be a lot of fun.
What?
And
Xbox got no games. We can wrap up the show now.
Oh man, no, yeah, I guess that's it.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
It's a great episode.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Reformed Gamers.
But no, like Xbox has a lot of games. Like we're actually going to go over some of them, and some of them that are some of my favorites. You guys probably have never heard of, so this will be fun. So hopefully you got a pen and paper ready, or well, it's 2020, no one uses a pen and paper anymore. Hopefully you have your notes app ready, and you'll be able to enjoy some of these games that brought us a lot of entertainment. And so here's how we'll do it. I know Adam did like this whole scoring thing last episode. I'm bad with math, and so I don't know how to do that. So we're just gonna basically go back and forth between me and Steven and Afia's picks, and then at the end we'll go over what everybody picked, or kind of what the finalized roster or ranking was from the TRG Facebook group. So as always, the guests get to go first. So Steven, let's start at the very bottom, or I guess top. I don't know how you'd work it, but what it would be your number 10 pick for Xbox One games. If you had to pick your top 10 Xbox games, what would be coming in at number 10?
All right. So this may be coming as a surprise, but I have ranked Master Chief Collection as number 10.
Wow.
Yes. And
why so low?
Why? See,
Games are good.
Right. And here's the thing is that if people were to ask me, Steve, if you were stranded on a deserted island with your console of choice, a TV, and hopefully internet, but if not, it's fine, I would choose the Master Chief Collection to come with me. Why? Because it comes with 6 games in one package. The Master Chief Saga from Halos 1 through 4, Halo ODST, and Halo Reach. And if that island somehow has internet, then I have all of that multiplayer just to enjoy myself, so I can toggle between the campaign to the multiplayer at will. I think, to me, that's an iconic lineup right there. And also with that, with I believe it was Halo 1 or Combat Evolved and Halo 2, they were able to toggle between the original version and the remastered. I thought that was phenomenal. That was like enhanced nostalgia and eye candy for me. I loved how they had that feature. And the reason why I didn't have this game higher on my list, because since we were talking about the Xbox One generation, these games were like Xbox 360 and older. So that's why I kind of grading a little bit more harder, because, hey, these are just repackaged for the Xbox One with some remasters. Gotcha. But these were technically older games. So, but Halo is a franchise that I love. Halo is what got me into the Xbox ecosystem since the original Xbox. And I just love my Master Chief.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Me and you have talked quite a bit about Halo, and we've even shared when they did that podcast for leading up to Halo 5, and even the books as well, which I still need to read. I picked up, I'm pretty sure I have all of the new Master Chief Stories novels, but I haven't read any of them just yet. I need to get onto that.
It's good stuff. Even as an audiobook, just listen to it, as you're doing the audiobooks for them. They're great. Great books.
Yep. I've actually listened to The Fall of Reach and Ghosts of Onyx on the audiobook, and it's really good. Anyway, early reco for you, dear listeners. Coming in at number 10 for me is Reco, a game that kind of flew under the radar, is a little underrated, and I don't think enough people played. If you guys enjoy games that are like Metroid, Legend of Zelda, those kind of games, Reco is right up your alley. You play as this girl, this kind of young engineer, tech savvy girl who lands on this planet, and she's trying to uncover, why are these robots going haywire? And I just realized this is kind of like Horizon Zero Dawn, the more I think about it. So if you like Horizon Zero Dawn and you have an Xbox, check out Reco. I think it's on GamePass too. So feel free I think actually most of the games that we have on this list, or at least the ones that I have available to me, are all on Game Pass. So you can enjoy those whether you're on PC or Xbox. But my words
Mumber
are
pen.
so hard. Pineapple pen. My number 10 pick. My number 10 pick is Recore. So
In the Recore, the music was phenomenal. I remember
Oh,
I
yeah.
had that soundtrack on repeat for such quite a time because it was so gripping, and the orchestration of it was very immersive, and it made you feel like you're deserted in this deserted world with nothing but you and your robot cohorts, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. I thought the music selection was great for that game.
Yeah, it was a really good game. It's a shame it was as underrated as it is. I don't think as many. I wish more people played it because I think it was a really special game, and I think it's one that just flew under the radar for a lot of people. But
I hope they continue on with that franchise, but add a bit more cutscenes to it. That's my critique, because it seems like there was very little cutscenes to really get me more and closer to the character development of that game.
Yeah.
But I did have fun with the combat and the mechanics. I felt that it was pretty smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, definitely. So those are our number 10 picks. Let's move into number 9. Steven, what's your number 9 pick?
Rocket League.
Okay.
All the swag and stuff. I just started playing it again today, like I said. But yeah.
That's a good game, I mean, what can you go wrong with demolition cars and soccer that have rockets attached to them flying all over the place?
That's true.
And the reason why I chose this too, because it's one of those type of games that it's all around exciting fun. It's not only just fun to play, it's also fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's one of those games in which, I'm a busy guy, I work for a living, and sometimes, even like during my lunch breaks, I'm going to play it on xCloud, or even if I'm at home and I just want to at least play a game really quick because I have to go somewhere. I like it how I can just turn on Rocket League and do a quick play, and I'm in a match, and I know what to do. The concept of it is easy. It's just the mechanics may be kind of tricky for people who don't know how to manage the rocket, but it's great because all the different skins, the way you can customize your cars, etc.
Very creative.
Very right, and it's like eye candy. And on top of that, even like watching, it's streamer friendly. So like I would actually go onto like Twitch and see, okay, how do these people get so good? Like how can they maneuver their cars that well so that they're able to fly all over the place in the air and make these amazing trick shots? It's a great game. It's family friendly, it's fun. And on top of that, for the music, the soundtrack's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
to my free time.
I'll be having like these parties at our house for our birthday parties, and we're having all these different type of people over. I'll just bump some Rocket League. West Coast gangster rap in my house, dear Christian. We're playing some Rocket League. So, it's great. It's a great soundtrack. All of them. There's like 4 or 5 of them.
It's
forgot.
Low-fi beats.
Yeah, but it's awesome. Great dubstep style music. It's cool. I dig it. It's a great game.
Yeah, Rocket League was one of those games like I never really got good at, but I do enjoy watching it. It's one of those games I would much rather watch other people play it than play it myself, just because I get, well, you guys probably know if you've played a game with me a couple times. My friend Mitch knows how I act when I'm not doing well in something like Call of Duty. So I don't typically have fun if I'm not winning, but if I'm watching somebody else doing the aerials and all those crazy tricks, I'm like, okay, this is a good time. So Rocket League is definitely one of those. I think my number 9 pick is probably a little bit of a loophole just because of backwards compatibility and how that works. So my number 9 pick, and really this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but my number 9 pick is Lost Odyssey, which is an Xbox 360 JRPG. But through the power of backwards compatibility, you can play it on the Xbox One. And I don't know really what else there is to say about this game apart from what I've already said, which is this is easily one of the best JRPGs I've ever played in my life. It is one of the most emotional experiences in gaming I have ever had. And this is probably the only JRPG that has made me cry as much as it has because of well, in case you guys don't know what Lost Odyssey is, Lost Odyssey is made by people who have worked on Final Fantasy games. And you play as Kaim, who is this immortal. He can't die. And so when you really think about that, you go through life and everyone else around you is dying and passing away, but you're still moving forward through time. And the game does a really good job of showing both the beauty of that and kind of the moments that you get to experience with people, but it also shows the pain of that because of how you just lose people as time goes by. And it's illustrated in these little short stories that was penned by, I can't remember who the author is, but he's kind of an acclaimed writer in Japan for his short stories. And man, they are some really good short stories. So my number 9 pick is Lost Odyssey. If you have an Xbox One, you owe it to yourself if you're a JRPG fan to check this game out and enjoy. It still holds up. I played it a couple years ago, actually, after they made it backwards compatible, and the game still holds up, still plays really well, and it's just every bit as awesome as I remember it. So enjoy Lost Odyssey if you haven't played it yet.
Yeah, that one's on my queue.
Dude, it's good. Just bump it up to number 1. Forget everything else you're playing and just play that. Just play
right. Yeah,
that.
I'll consider.
So let's move on to number 8 then. What is y'all's number 8 pick?
I'm excited to share this because my brain is the most refreshed of this game since he has not played in a while. I recently beat this game.
Okay.
Titanfall 2.
Oh my goodness.
Big Apex Legends fan. And he's like, you need to play Titanfall 2 to understand this. And this season, they have like these new stories and stuff, and you need to play Titanfall to really understand them. So, I love Titanfall. It's a good game, good story. And yeah, let's get on.
What were your favorite parts of the game that stuck out with you?
Well, I love the emotional kind of connection, or how should I say, the friendship between Cooper and BT. Like BT's like a Titan, he's like a robot, but it just made me feel like when someone dies, like a special person in the game, and you're like, why did they have to die, like in a movie or something? That's the same thing of like anything here. So
yeah, there's a bond between both of them, huh? That, you know, the different dialogues they'll have and the quips and the humor that they'll have with each other. But yeah, you know, that's a good game. That's a good choice.
That's a great game.
Yeah, that's also, you know, that's our number 8. One of my favorite parts of the campaign is when, you know, BT would tell Jack Cooper, trust me, and then he will like throw him across the sky like a football.
I was just thinking of that scene. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Like, oh man, that's amazing. And also, not only that, but like the gameplay is so buttery smooth. Like how you're able to parkour along the walls and jump through the air and slide, and the reload mechanics, the different varieties of guns. It's such a, you know, whether you're playing the campaign or multiplayer, it seems very polished. And I remember when Titanfall 1 was released, people were begging for a story mode. And so they totally delivered that with Titanfall 2. Unfortunately, they had to launch that game around the same time as Battlefield 1, which kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people. And so that is another game that definitely should look into, because it's a great game. It's you know, it's well worth the time to complete at least the campaign. And if you do have the extra time, play the multiplayer, see how it is to jump and feel the mechanics of jumping into this Titan that just dropped from the sky. It's a great game. I love it.
Definitely is. Longtime dear listeners know that I have beat the drum of Titanfall 2 and sung its praises for a long time on this show. And I remember when that game came out that I bought several copies for friends because like, you guys need to play this game because it is amazing. Like I'll get more into this because Titanfall 2 is going to come up on my list a little bit later on. But like I went down the Titanfall 2 rabbit hole, man. I bought the soundtrack. I was listening to the music. I was buying like the apparel stuff. I have a pilot statue in my office that you can flip a switch and his visor lights up. And so I love Titanfall, man. Y'all bringing that up right now got me so hyped. Oh my gosh.
Right. You and I used to play together, multiplayer.
We did, man. We did. Good times.
time.
We had Titanfall Tuesdays in the Facebook group going for a while
Nice,
too.
yes.
Oh man,
Yeah,
such a good.
part of that. I want to have a Titanfall Tuesday.
Well, hey, when Titanfall 3 drops, you're joining in. You're joining in. You can be on my team so we can beat up your dad.
All right, bring it on.
Remind me again whose KD is.
Stop.
I got him, Steven, maybe me and you need to team up and see if we can take her
tell
on.
me about it.
She might not need any help.
With me.
She's probably going to beat us all, like just beat us both.
No,
and
I
then
suck
we're
at
like,
that game. I suck
we'll
at
see.
that game.
We'll see. So we're on number 8, right?
Yeah, that was number 8.
Numbers are hard. Okay, my number 8 pick. My number 8 pick is one that I'm not particularly good at, but I can recognize a good game when I see one and play it, and that is Forza Motorsport 6. I'm not one for sim racing games. I'm just not good at them. I don't really particularly understand them all that well. But like I said, I recognize a good game when I see it and when I play it. And when I booted this game up back when I had an Xbox One, I was like, this game is something else. Not only is it visually striking, but I would imagine that if I knew what I was doing in this and knew how to like tune the cars correctly and like when to not accelerate, when to apply the brakes and things like that, if I wasn't playing it so much like a Need for Speed game, I would probably be enjoying it a whole lot more than what I was. But man, I've said this on the show multiple times. The Forza series of racers is the best out on the market right now. You know,
Amen,
if you want the sim racer, Forza Motorsport. If you want the arcade racer, Forza Horizon. Either one. But Forza Motorsport 6 comes in at number 8 for me. I know it's a little bit low on my list, but it's just because I don't really I don't know why I put it above Lost Odyssey, actually, now that I think about it. But I'm going to leave it there. I think it's just because it's just a pretty game to look at. The cars are amazing. And so Forza Motorsport 6 is my number 8 pick. So you guys can go and enjoy that. So moving on to number 7. Guys, what do you have for number 7?
Apex Legends. We love this game. We like to kill people in this game.
Tone down on the violence now. So why do you like Apex Legends? I know that we just got off the tales of Titanfall 2, but why Apex Legends as number 7?
Okay, I love this game a lot. I started in season 3 because like one of my friends was like, I play Apex, and eventually they probably like lied to me or something. But anyways, I started because of them. I'm like, okay, I'll just try this game out. I used to be a Fortnite girl, and I was saved from the depths of Fortnite. Okay.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
ETL.
So I love this game a lot. I play it like literally every day. I have created a kind of bond in my life with this game. Just every day, every night, I'm like, okay, when I get home, after I leave, I'm gonna like go play Apex. And what I like about the game is the graphics look good, but I feel like Titanfall looked better.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Well, I felt like both of them, they kind of tweak the colors of Apex Legends as opposed to Titanfall is a bit more darker. Yeah.
That's probably why, because it looked like glossy and stuff.
Yeah.
But like the graphics and the characters, the backstory of the characters is like just got me even more hooked into Apex Legends, like what happened and why they came to the Apex Legend games and stuff, and the way they do the little animation videos that they have. I also like when you play the game, recommendations, you can pick the kind of like gun optics that you have, so you can like aim any kind of like aim that you have, which it's pretty cool. And any day, anytime, mostly only Tuesday, because every Tuesday they like release these cool events where you can get cool skins and all these things, which goes on to the next thing, which is like creative skins and the music packs that they have and the battle pass and stuff. And I'd also say, okay, I had to win to get this. When I won the game, I was like, man, that felt good.
Oh, you love the feeling of getting
yes,
champion.
I love it. It loves winning when you're like there was 50 people, 50, 60 people in this server. And me and my squad are the last people standing right here.
It's a good feeling.
It is. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, man. Apex Legends, you know, I know Modern Warfare is out there, and I love Modern Warfare, and a lot of my friends enjoyed Modern Warfare. But I noticed that she really liked Apex Legends, and actually what really drew me into playing Apex Legends, I started in Season 1 when the first was released, but then I kind of got distracted with another game. But it wasn't until Season 4 in which they did that cartoon of Revenant and how they started bringing the lore of Revenant into the Apex Legends games. And when I saw that video of him and how what he did with Loba's father and what had Loba had this quest for revenge on taking down this simulacrum robot named Revenant, really just drew me into the lore of the game. Like, you know what? I love Titanfall 2. I enjoyed what that game had to offer. Let me try Apex Legends and see if it's going to draw me back in. And since then, they made a lot of improvements, because it seems like for a while, a lot of people were kind of saying that Apex, you know, started big. You know, I know Respawn surprised everyone with this battle royale out of nowhere. And they were saying for a while, well, there really isn't much to it now. They're not really giving that much skins, or not really giving that much, you know, things you can do to customize your character. Apex is on his way to die. And they really you know, beefed up the development of that game to the point that now they're having all these different events and all these different, you know, things that you can do to customize your banner or etc. And the equips you use, and all these new legends they come out with every season. It's great. Like the recent legend, Rampart. She's my favorite character now. And I love using her shield and her turret that she drops in the middle of the map. It's such a great game, and it's very smooth. It's buggy at times, but then it's one that her and I, at least, it drew me in so that I would play this with her. A lot of it is that I can just enjoy my time with my kid, and her and I can just have fun together. And hopefully, you know, she can look back in the future and be like, wow, you know, I enjoyed those times playing with my dad.
Sometimes it's kind of like scary to tell people that I play Apex. Like the other day, one of my people, I went to his place and he's like, console player, because he knows that I play on an Xbox.
Wow.
And then this other boy heard it. He's like, oh, you play on a console? What do you play? I'm like, I like literally knew that he plays Fortnite. I'm like, Apex. And he's like, ew. I'm like, ew.
So 1v1 me, bruh. Should tell him
like,
I have before, and he's like, who's this? What's that? I'm like, I ain't answering anyway.
Well, you know what? You just tell him next time. Logan from the Reformed Gamers says Fortnite is an awful game and Apex is superior. And then when he just looks at you like, wait, who? You can be like, yeah, that's what's up.
That's right.
And then you can just school him in Apex later when he shows up, because that's just how we roll. That's how we roll. But yeah, okay, so number 7 pick. So let me see what I got for mine. I put Sea of Thieves, which is a game that when it first launched, kind of fumbled a little bit. People didn't really, from what I remember, people didn't really enjoy it. But as they continued supporting it and adding new things in and changing it up, it became quite the game. I think over the summer, it was the top-selling game on Steam there for a while when it first released. And the times that I played it with other friends like Reformed Jedi from Twitch and a few other people, it was a blast. I really enjoyed like doing these, what is it? The Skull Island, Skull Fort things, and getting the treasure and just kind of goofing around and coming across other players and trying to take over their boats and just trying to be sneaky about it. It's a fun little game that is great when you play with friends. I don't know how great it is when you play by yourself. So if you have a group of friends and you guys are looking for something to play, Sea of Thieves would be one I would recommend. It's a good time. And plus, it's just kind of fun to talk like a pirate every now and then. You know what I'm saying? So,
you scallywaggers, you wretched Peter Pan.
Wow, that's pretty good.
With some friends too.
Oh, with Bob. Bob and his daughter.
Yeah,
we had a few times we were able to play that. I wish we played more of it.
We dyed our hair. We started sleeping on the beds on the ship. being lazy.
It's a good
That's
time.
awesome.
You
That's
crash
awesome.
the ship. Yeah. Oh, that's
We crashed the ship.
and that's one of those games I wish we got to play more of. There's so many games out there, Logan.
I know, man.
Xbox got
There's
no
too many.
games.
Xbox
I know.
See you later.
We I mean, we're already at number 7, so we've already given like 8 games so far for people to play on Xbox. I'm just saying. And if you want to count Halo Master Chief Collection, that's like what, 7?
6 and
I
1.
don't know. So a lot of games. Anyway, so let's move on to speaking of number 6, well, that is where we're at. So guys, what is your number 6 pick for Xbox?
All right. So this one, I love this game so much. And with a disclaimer, this game deserves to be at least in the top 3, but after my explanation, you'll see why I put this in number 6. But I put down Ori and the Will of the Wisps as number 6.
Wow.
This game is incredible. Fantastic game. The animation, of course, it just seems like it took a step up from the predecessor. The colors, the combat. In the first game, there wasn't really much of a combat system, but in the second one, Ori came in guns blazing. Like, literally, you can give him a bow and arrow, a sword, a spirit hammer, a spear, and there's an actual skill tree in the game. The combat's amazing. And on top of that, unlike the first game, if I remember, there wasn't really like actual like boss fights. It was a lot of more kind of like escaping, as cinematics. But
yeah,
for
there's
this
a lot
one,
of platforming.
Right. And this one, you actually go toe to toe against bosses. And it's great. The different, enemies you find, the variety of it. It's a phenomenal game, and it's not too incredibly easy, but it's not super difficult as well. And what I also love about the game is it's been a while since I played it, but you get to find ways to kind of beef up your Ori. And the way they had me wanting to explore the map just to like power him up to getting these different type of spirits, or I forgot what they were called, but you grab these spirits so you can get enough to strengthen your character, made me want to venture. And it had me, I'm not that type of player. Normally when I play a game, I'm not a completionist. And I know that's your thing, Logan, and I respect you for that, but I don't got time, just to do that, but for that game, it wanted me to go out and like, you know what, I actually have fun. Like, I enjoy going through that extra step just to get that piece to make Ori better. And it was great. There's actual more dialogue in this one as well, which is phenomenal. And the story, and I will say this, the story, as much as a lot of people love the first one, I actually like the second story better.
Wow,
I really did. I enjoyed the background, the context to it, and you need to play the first one to make the second one a lot more impactful. It's a great game. Now, the reason why I had to bump this to number 6 was because at launch, it was incredibly buggy. There was a lot of bugs with the game. There was audio bugs. The game would crash. And I don't know. I'm assuming they patched it by now. And I know they just released it on Switch. So please, Logan, start playing that. But it was because of that had me kind of be like, well, if it was a bit more polished on that front, then it'll deserve to be at least the top 3. But because of that, and this is my experience, like I said, things could have changed since then, but it is what it is at that time and when I experienced it. And I might even go back to see if a lot of those issues have been fixed. But phenomenal, great game. Afia, you also played it.
I beat the game too, with my dad's help, of course, because I would really never had beaten it without.
But a little bit. I helped you a little bit.
You helped me a little bit, but I love the story. The story was great, yet they do not go easy on how you feel.
Get that tissue box.
Yes. Before you play the game, buy a tissue box. Okay, everyone?
Sounds like the first game.
The animation. And the way they made the powers of the enemies, the looks of the enemies, the way, the noises, everything. But the audiobooks kind of like messed it up. But the way they made all that stuff just made the game 10 times better. which, in my opinion, I think so.
And the soundtrack to
the
it.
soundtrack,
Gareth Coker, that's his name. He's also working on the music for Halo Infinite. A little trivia there.
Really?
So, yeah. So he's same composer, but the music is, of course, they really brought the music in. It's just phenomenal soundtrack.
Actually, listen while we worked. Listen to the music when we work. It's like, if you don't want to listen to lo-fi beats, listen to Ori.
There you go.
Gotcha. Awesome. Good stuff, man. Listen to you talk about it. I mean, we were talking about this in the admin chat because when I saw it drop on Switch, I was like, oh no, I bought it on Switch by accident. Guess I gotta play it. And then Mario came out and I started playing that. It sounds like I'd have a way better time playing that than I would Mario 64 because I didn't know Ori got a bow and arrow, a hammer, a sword, and all that. So I'm gonna have to.
And more.
I'm going to have to fire that up. I'll probably play it on PC, though, just because achievements. So for my number 6 pick is one we've already talked about, but I wanted to rank it a little bit higher just because me and this series go way back. It's like with you, Steven, this is the game that got me into the Xbox 360, and it's Halo Master Chief Collection. Love the Chief. I have a replica of his helmet it's actually from the Halo 3 Collector's Edition. It was the Legendary Edition that they called it. I have his helmet in my office and a couple other Halo things. I love Halo. It's just a series that I have a lot of good memories with, and it's the one that we played a lot in my youth group to the point where everybody else in the youth group didn't want to play it if I was playing because I had this thing where if I had a plasma grenade ready, or if I had plasma grenades on me and someone was about to kill me, I would be able to throw it at him and stick him in the head every single time. And so they would just hate playing the game with me because I would always get them. It's like they knew that if they were going to kill me, that I would bring them down there with me. So
satisfying.
It really is. It was one of my favorite things to do, but it's a great collection. I know when it first came out, it was a mess, but it's like if you were to go play it now, it's a good time, especially if you're playing on PC. They just added ODST, and so you can enjoy that as well. My personal favorite is Reach out of that entire series. I think that one is the pinnacle of the gameplay and storytelling in that series. But I mean, you can't beat Halo 3 either, and you can't beat Halo 1 or 2. It's just they're all good. It's like trying to pick your favorite slice of cheesecake. It's all good, but one might have a different topping on it than the other, and so it's a good time. I have a
confession.
Great.
A little confession.
Uh-oh.
The first time I actually completed Reach was the end of last year.
What?
Yes.
Why
that
so
was one
late?
Of the games I didn't get to earlier because backstory. That too. But but then I'm like, you know what? It's available. Let me see, because everyone keeps saying how great Halo Reach was.
Yeah, dude.
I know that's an older game, and thank God for backwards compatibility, or how I played, and then I got to it, and I was amazed. And that game really held to the test of time. Fantastic game.
Yeah, man, definitely. So
and everyone, you can't Craig.
That's it, just Craig. We all love Craig.
Who doesn't love? Wait.
Okay, I know.
Take that back.
But Halo is one thing I want her and I to complete before Halo Infinite comes out. I want her to go through the series with me. I only beat the first level.
That's really all I did.
Yeah.
We never got to do the second one.
We'll get to it, baby.
Remember one time I killed that one commander on accident? So I was trying to change my mode to another mode, and I accidentally pushed the wrong button, and I punched him.
Well, hopefully you guys can pull yourselves away from Apex Legends long enough just to beat at least the first game and then see where you go from there. But with that being said, we're now in the top 5 of our best of Xbox games here. So, guys, what is your number 5 pick?
Ooh. Okay, I got to breathe on this one.
This is where it gets more difficult.
All right, so this one, obviously, she didn't play.
Yeah.
It's my game I played.
He loves it.
I love it. Okay. So it's not good for her. You are not ready, child. In my Kratos voice. So this one for number 5 is actually the Walking Dead Telltale game series. I am so blown away by the actual storytelling of that game. From 1 all the way to 4. It's amazing. And Clementine, sorry, Fia, but she's my adopted daughter, so you have a sister as well. And I love her. Yes, I love her so much. She's this, like, if she was a real person, I just want to hug her of how much she had to go through in this entire series. And, you know, from seeing her from the first game, this cute little innocent girl being thrown into this world overran by zombies. And the only figure that was able to help give her some sort of guidance in how to adapt and survive to this world was Lee. And because of Lee's actions and his words really impacted her, and because of his lessons, really carried with her throughout the rest of the series. And the progression of her character, just from being that cute little girl from game 1 to becoming this hardened teenager, pushing herself to do adult things. Like, you know, it's not really a big of a spoiler if you continue the game, but she ended up having, not her, but she ended up having to take care of a baby.
Yeah.
And she's a teen. She's not even an adult, but she's trying to help humanity just to survive and to make these decisions and these hard calls so that she can survive. It's a great game. And especially for the last one. So the last one, I know that there was some drama with Telltale Games and all the fiasco that went with them. And I was freaking out because I wanted closure on this story. And they only had like 2 episodes left to complete and to release. And they didn't release it. They're like, well, Telltale Games is going under. And I was sad. I was mad. I was frustrated. I'm like, I can't believe we're not going to see the ending to this. Like, I want to know what happened. But fortunately, Skybound took the reins. Like, you know what? We're going to get all our developers back. It's going to be outside of Telltale. We're going to complete this game. And I'll tell you what, the way they ended the final episode wrapped it up like the developers wanted to put their heart and their soul into their last hurrah for the series. And boy, did it go out with a bang. And to this day, I just remember that night. It was like 11:30 at night. Afia's asleep. My wife's asleep. And I'm just there looking at the screen, just like in awe. My jaw dropped on how they concluded the story. Like, I don't know if you ever gone through that, Logan, but when you beat a great game and you lay your head on your bed, you ain't going to go to sleep for a while because you're just thinking about like, wow,
snap,
that really impacted me. So phenomenal games. I rate that really high, especially during the Xbox One series. You know, the past 8 years has been out, 7-8 years. Oh my goodness!
Mm-hmm.
But phenomenal.
Wait, I'm holding an Xbox.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little
I
bit.
didn't know that. You learn things every day. Well, when he told me about the story, like he told me what the story's about, but like nothing bad about it. But like, I was like, whoa. This sounds fun and cool.
But you're not ready.
But yet scary.
Oh, man. Good stuff. Well, speaking of games that you're maybe not ready for because of the content in it and how just, well, chainsaw bayonets galore, my number 5 pick is Gears of War 4. I was hoping to put Gears 5 here just to put, number 5 spot, Gears 5. I haven't beaten it yet. So it's like what Steven said. There's too many games to play, and I keep jumping around between games like Mario jumps around different worlds in Mario 64.
Burning lava.
And the burning lava. But I put Gears 4 here this high because this game, I'm going to be honest, and some of you may not know this. So I guess it's 2 things I'm telling you now. So the first thing you may not notice is I'm a pretty big Gears fan. I love Gears of War. It was a game that when it first came out on the 360, I was working at GameStop at the time, and everybody that I worked with there, that's what we played every night. And 2 of the guys that I worked with were really good at it. I think they could have gone pro if they wanted to, but that's what we played. We played Gears of War Online when we were tired of just wrecking everybody. We went and played Horde mode, and then we got wrecked when the computer got a little too difficult. And so I have a long history with Gears of War, and I was a little nervous how it was going to be with Gears of War 4 because it was a new studio. They're taking on a new story, adding in new characters, and I was like, oh man, I don't know if that's going to be good. But this game surprised me in so many ways, and it's a lot of fun to play, and it's still really good. If Gears 5 is better, I'll update you guys on Twitter or something. But for right now, my number 5 spot is going to Gears of War 4.
Great choice.
So good.
Good
so
game.
Good. It is good. It's good. Also on Game Pass. Enjoy. So our number 4 pick, guys, what do you got?
Your favorite game, Logan.
Oh, don't you dare.
Cuphead. I'm actually wearing my Cuphead shirt right now. That's awesome.
So can I surprise you right now?
What's that?
Cuphead is also my number 4 pick.
All right. Wow. Little golf clap if you
We're thinking on the same wavelength, man.
There we go. See?
Well, at least we have something in common.
Yeah.
So why
do you
Cuphead?
Go first, do you want to talk about it first?
Like we were saying, I played Cuphead the other day. That's right, on simple mode, because I suck at it.
Hey, there ain't no shame in that. There is no shame in that at all. That's what I did.
Now, what's your KD on Cuphead, huh? Talk to us about that. See, so good.
I could not. Everyone, I know. It took me like 20 minutes to get past the tutorial. And what happened, because I raged so hard, I was trying to get out of the building, right? And I was jumping just to be playful. And I went past the button. I pushed A at the same time, where there's at the tutorial button, they say the option for tutorial. I pushed A at the same time there. So I had to do the tutorial again. And then I think yes, it sucked. I think I had to do it 3 times. I don't know what happened the third time. I had to do it like 3 times. I think I pushed the A button on my paddle on my Elite controller. And I had to do it again. But those 2 times, I did it way more faster than the first time. The first time took me like such a long time. He actually beat the game. And I like this game a lot. The music is actually pretty good too. Let me repeat this one song that they had there. Yeah, and also the way they made you feel when you die. When you die, it was like, why?
It makes you want to quit gaming.
Like, that flagpole.
I know.
Like, no.
Yeah, like right there.
Yeah, man, Cuphead, rich animation, very unique. I mean, when I saw the trailer of the game, it just gave me that nostalgia feeling. Like, do you remember back in the day we had Saturday morning cartoons?
Dude, those were simpler times.
I just wake up Saturday morning, get my bowl of cereal, turn on the tube, and just like chill. And when I saw that game, it just gave me the jitters of like, wow, like I love this animation style. Like I love the old school Tom and Jerry's, Popeye and all that. It just gave me, flashbacks when I was a kid, and I enjoyed, the character of Cuphead. I know it kind of looked reminiscent of like Mickey / Mario, Luigi, etc. But it's awesome, and the music is phenomenal. I mean, how many games are you going to play that have a fantastic jazz band as the game music? I mean, they have a freaking xylophone solo on one of the boss fights.
They do?
A xylophone. I'm like, this is awesome. The music, the soundtrack, the animations. Now, as for the gameplay and mechanics, obviously it's buttery smooth. But what I like is that if you try to downgrade the difficulty from normal to easy, you're not really getting the full experience, because the bosses, as you're like completing a boss, as you're fighting a boss, the boss goes through several transformations. So if you play it on easy, you only go to 2 transformations and then you'll beat them. But you don't really actually get to complete the game. You don't really get to fight the last boss, because you have to play it on normal mode at least.
King Dice was like,
so
you don't get the things if you play it on simple. I'm like, I didn't want to play this game. I didn't want to finish this game.
You should see Logan.
Test it out.
Yes, that's how
I never finished in this game.
But you gotta admit,
just like me, man.
It's like old school Battletoads for me.
Oh, you don't know old school Battletoads, young girl. So the thing is that what I also like was the satisfaction that you have been taking so many L's left and right, just the same boss just beating you down, and then you're determined and you're trying to figure out the pattern. And once you see the magical word that says knockout, it's just like that pressure has been released and you're just satisfied, like, yes, I finally beat this one. I got the soul contract.
Or you keep on saying, it keeps on saying L, and then you realize that you just need to buy another gun.
That's true. But it's a great game. I totally recommend it. It's high on the list. And, it's all around just a fun boss fighting platformer game as well. It's a great recommendation out there. And, I enjoyed it when it was just on Xbox. I was a big fan. I know a lot of at that time, I felt like I was the only fan of Cuphead. But now I'm excited that they're going to be on Netflix pretty soon, coming out with their own series. So I'm happy for Studio MHDR and what they're doing, and it's definitely a great game.
So what do you think about Cuphead, Logan?
Pretty much what y'all said. There's moments where I enjoyed the game. There's moments where I'm like, I just want to quit gaming. I don't know why I'm playing this game anymore. I quit. This game makes me want to smash my, because I played it on Switch. I want to just smash my Switch over my knee, but I didn't do that, and I persevered, beat the game, and I'm like, cool, I will never play this game again. But now that they put it on... No, they didn't put it on PS4. Now that I have a PC, though, now that it's like...
They put it on PS4.
Did they?
Yeah. There you go, Platinum.
That's right.
Because
I was just thinking...
Hendrick, one of the Reformed Gamers, I believe he said that he platinumed it.
Ah, yes, Mr. Honorable Judge Micah Hendrick, who likes to judge me for my trophies that I get. Yeah, he did get the platinum for that. That's right. I need to go get the platinum for that too.
Respect,
I guess.
Micah, respect.
I can finally redeem myself for playing My Name Is Mayo earlier this year. So moving along, what is y'all's number 3 pick? Oh, we're in the top 3. Okay. What's your top 3 pick?
Oh man, having a good time. All right, so this one is actually Gears 5 for me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Love this Gears. Notice that Gears 4 wasn't on here, and it's not on my top 10. Gears 5 was light years better than the 4th one, in my opinion.
Okay.
But it's necessary to play the 4th so that you're able to get the background on those new characters, like Dell and, Kate Diaz. And since you have that camaraderie from the 4th game, it really gets interesting in the tension between those characters in the 5th game. So the storytelling has improved a lot since the 4th one. But not only that, but what I did appreciate was obviously the graphics even took a major upgrade. It just seems like things have just gotten improved from the 4th one. But they took a bold and ambitious move on making the game open world-esque. And I love that aspect. I didn't know how it was going to pay off, because I know that the previous Gears were pretty linear. You just go straight ahead and keep fighting. See the enemy, that's where you're supposed to go. But here, how you're able to, it's kind of like this sand, or this kind of like this, I don't want to say like a jet ski, but it's kind of like this ski. It's called a skiff.
It's kind of like a wind, not like a wind glider
it's
thing,
kind of like
but
a wind sled, you can say.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and you can use that skiff just to roam around and to find ways to either improve your equipment or to find the next part of the story. And I loved how they did that. I thought it was a great idea, and I want more of that. And I'm excited. I'm not trying to get off to a tangent, but I'm excited if they can have something like that with Halo Infinite. But if they do it right, I'm even more excited on that game. But in regards to Gears 5. Even playing the co-op, you get to use Jack, that flying robot, as you're playing co-op, and you get to pick up the weapons for your teammates, or you get to shock the enemies as Jack. I thought that was really cool, playing co-op with the friends that way. Multiplayer is obviously stupid fun. But all in all, I thought the story on this one, is one of those ones that I wasn't disappointed with the ending. I thought, you know what, there were some tough calls throughout the game to make, but hanging in there and seeing the aftermath and knowing that the story continues is like, it gave me some closure in one aspect, but in another aspect, I'm excited for the next one. So I really hope to keep that open world-esque mechanic in the new game, and the next game, or Gears 6, whatever they call it. And I hope they continue with that model and make it even better. And it's a phenomenal game. Totally recommend it.
Gears Pop. That's all I played.
Oh, Gears Pop.
I did not like that game.
Yeah, I need to finish Gears 5. I've gotten as far as the part with the skiff, and then because you're in this like snowy area and you're trying to open this gate, and I opened the gate, and that's about where I last left off with that game. I need to just go back and play it and finish it. And I mean, hearing you say that it's better than 4, I'm like, well, okay, I guess I need to finish it. But my problem is,
let me know.
Can you play, like, if I'm on PC and you're on Xbox, can we play together?
I believe you can. I think I played with Adam Wade, and he plays on PC, and I was able to co-op with him. Mm-hmm. Adam Wade is one of the members of our group.
We might have to set that up then and at least do multiplayer or something, because I've been craving some horde mode here lately.
Let's go.
Let's do it. My number 3 pick is going to be Ori and the Blind Forest. And this is a similar situation with Gears 4. I was hoping to finish Ori and the Will of the Wisp by the time we got to this episode, but that came out the day before Super Mario did, and so it didn't get played. And so Ori and the Blind Forest is when I did finish. I did really enjoy it, and I mean, we've talked about it before already, but just that game fires on all cylinders. The art, the music, the gameplay is all rock solid, and you can play this game on the Nintendo Switch, but originally on the Xbox is, it's still, regardless of where you play it, you're going to enjoy this game. And so Ori and the Blind Forest makes it into my top 3. Fantastic game. Easily one of the best Metroidvanias out there. Well, I won't go on a tangent about Metroidvanias because I could easily do a whole other episode on that. So let's move into our number 2 picks. What do y'all have for number 2?
All right. So this is another one on my camp. So Fia didn't play this one. And this would be Red Dead Redemption 2. I love this game a lot. This game still
Lenny!
Lenny! I remember when you streamed that part. That was hilarious.
Oh my gosh, dude. What a trip.
Still, to this day, when I think about the storytelling and the depth of the writing and how I fell in love with all these different characters, and some of them I hated, and some of them it just made me want to pull my hair. And and I actually got to play Red Dead Redemption 1 on Xbox One because they had the enhanced version, and I was like, you know what, John Marston is my dude. Like, I don't know how you're gonna find a better character than John Marston. Well, they proved me wrong with Arthur Morgan. I loved Arthur. I love the development from the beginning of the game and how certain challenges came his way to the point that it really changed his character and his outlook of life and made me feel for him. Like, wow, like this guy, is really re-examining his environment because of this outlaw type of lifestyle that he had with Dutch and Micah and all the rest of people in his camp. And the music, it's phenomenal. Soundtrack, storytelling, the world exploration. You can go hunting and fishing and gambling, and I love the game a lot. And it's one of those games that, for me, if I'm going to play a single player game, the story has to be on point. And one thing that I hate when it comes to first person, single player campaign games is building up to a mediocre or a bad ending. And I'm not a fan of that. I felt that I enjoyed the closure of this game. And I also enjoyed how it led to the events leading up to Red Dead Redemption 1. And great game. I know the voice actor, Arthur Morgan, I believe he won one of the best voice actor awards in the Game Awards. He deserves it. He did a great job. And even to this day, looking back, I went on YouTube the other day just to see, the ending of the game, and just still, it gives me the chills.
It gives me the chills.
And I know Afia got to see a little bit of it. Like, okay, let me go.
I don't even know the character. I was like, whoa.
Just the acting itself is just like, wow. Like, it draws you in. She had no idea what was going on, but it's like,
he told me, film it a little bit because it was like a Red Dead Redemption 2 5-minute video or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, I started to get it.
It's a great game, and it's high up there on my list.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Good pick. And it's apt because it's Red Dead Redemption 2 in the number 2 spot. My number 2 pick also has the number 2 in it. And it's one that I mentioned would come up later in my list. My number 2 pick is Titanfall 2 because it's Titanfall 2. and it's an incredible game. And if you haven't played it by now, what are you doing? Get your life together. Stop playing Mario 64 and go play Titanfall 2. Just get your life together. Just do it. Just play it. Enjoy it. Now we arrive at the number 1 ranking. What did y'all pick for number 1 on Xbox?
We both love this. It's an original. It's the first game I have ever beaten in my 9 years of life. Ready? I almost cried on this one, actually.
Oh,
Ori
snap.
and the Blind Forest.
Wow. Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Wait. You almost cried or you did cry? Because I'm going to be honest. That intro got me. I cried. It made me cry.
The end got me.
It's a good one. Yeah, that's true, too.
Even the beginning.
The beginning and the end. Like, beginning actually almost made me cry, too. It's like the emotional way that they make your heart just like
it hits you in the feels,
and you like, it's like my dad said, it speaks so much with just little words. Like, all you hear is a narrator, and you just see the characters sad, happy, sad, glad, enjoyment, and you're just like hooked to the TV like you're watching a show or something. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Why we like it a lot is because it's the original, so the powers come from the original game, and then, or in the Will-O-Wisps, add more onto that. But I just remember me and my dad sitting on the couch. It was like around Christmas and stuff like that, and I remember the Christmas tree in the living room, and then I remember me sitting down, just pushing X, and I'm like, "Why, Dad? Why can't I just like control the character or something?" He's like, "Just push X." I'm like, "Okay."
See, the funny thing was that she was I forgot how old were you, but I think you were maybe like 4.
Yeah.
4 or 5. But her hands were too small to grip the controller. So I would have her like sit like next to me, and then I would kind of wrap my arms around her, and all her job, you had one job, was to hit X and just keep mashing that X button. And I would move the character with my other fingers, and we shared that together. So I'm kind of teaching her how to use a controller, how to play the game. And, this is why it's high up there on the list for me, because it's the first thing I was able to expose her to and to share with her, that her and I were able to complete it together from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it was you, Logan, on your podcast that actually told me about this game.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
That's what we do. We reco good games. So
that's right, baby. And
now look, years later, we're here putting it up on our top 10, just thanks to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
we've come full circle at this point.
Pretty much, right? And so now I noticed I mentioned Ori and Will-O-Wisp, but I still got to give respect for this new IP from Microsoft Studios. This game, it's phenomenal. Obviously, we talked about the music soundtrack. I love the escape sequences as Ori's trying to either run from this flood of water trying to like kill him, or lava, or etc. All these different challenges you have to go through, and you have to do it in a timely manner, or you have to start over again. I love those type of platforming mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
I know she mentioned it, but this game does speak volumes with so little words, because majority of the time, only words you hear are from like the narrator. He doesn't even say much. But just looking at the animation of these small characters showing emotion, and the sounds that they use to accompany that, I thought it was just a phenomenal style of art. It's very artistic. It's very well done, and it deserves to be high up there in the list. And definitely, if you haven't played this game, do it today. And if you have played this game and you haven't finished the second one, get some closure in your life, beat the second one as well, and you will not be dissatisfied.
I feel personally attacked right now.
That's right. See, it's that guilt trip, the Holy Spirit.
That's my problem, though. Again, I got to stop bouncing around between all these games and just focus on one and then knock them down one at a time. That's my problem.
Cannot steer it to the left or to the right, Logan, but straight and narrow. Straight and narrow.
Man. I'm trying. I'm feeling. I honestly want to play some Gears after this recording, but we'll see how it goes.
You will go into a street in a lane. It will go straight, and there's two trees. There's a big forest, one to your left, one to your right, and you just gotta go straight, and you can't back up because the lane's so thin.
Okay.
That you just got to go straight.
Go straight, Logan.
So basically, just keep swimming is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Awesome. I'll do that. All right, guys. So my number one pick, and honestly, it could be interchanged between two different games, but I'm going to pick this one because it's my personal favorite. This is the one that I really enjoyed and put a ton of hours into. I haven't checked my Xbox account thing, so I don't know how much time I've actually put into this. I don't have an accurate count, but I know it's got to be close to 100 on this one.
Whoa.
And my number one pick is Forza Horizon 3. And it is, like I said earlier, the best racing games on the market right now are the Forza games. If you want the sim racing games, go to Motorsport. If you want the arcade games, go to Horizon. And I prefer the arcade racers. Those of you that maybe are new to the show, I love racing games. I really, really do. And we have a lot of different racing games to play right now. Not a whole lot of arcade games outside of the Forza Horizon games. And Forza Horizon 3 is easily my favorite game on the Xbox. Like I said, I put so many hours into it. The DLC is really good too. You have a Hot Wheels expansion. You have a I forget what the snow one's called, but you're on like a mountain. There's snow and all that stuff. And it's a fun game to play. It's great to play with friends. And I love how Xbox uses the whole Drivatar system where if you have friends that play it, it takes how they race and stuff and then brings that into your games. So it's like you're racing against your friends to a degree. And it's easy to bring your friends in there. And I love it's so cool. I think this is one of my favorite things because I'm, not to brag or anything, but I'm friends with Phil Spencer and Major Nelson on Xbox, I say this like as if it's like some privilege. Anyone can add them on Xbox because they put their gamer tags out there all the time. But it's fun to just be racing around and see Major Nelson just drive by you, and you're like, "That's Major Nelson."
I have his as a friend, but not Phil.
Oh, dude, you got to get him on there. It's just, I think it's just P3 on Xbox, isn't it?
Oh, is it? I gotta check that out.
I don't know.
You know what? To you, Phil Spencer, we will talk about you on this show because it's about Xbox this episode.
We need to get Phil on the show.
We need to.
TRG goals, man. Let's make it happen. Dude, if we can cap off the year by bringing Phil Spencer on here, I will retire. I won't retire from doing podcasting, but I'll be like, this is one of the coolest things we've ever done. So,
you know what?
Think,
there was this other podcast called Animal Talking. It was so cute. And one of the guests there was the one and only Phil Spencer.
Really?
Animal Talking?
So, had the little character, right? And they're like, and the special guest that we have on our show today is Phil Spencer. And you see, his little character with his little eyes and stuff.
Yeah, it's check it on YouTube. Some guy has, this talk show, but it's all in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's Gary Whitta's show.
Yeah, and they got Phil Spencer on there, and Phil Spencer's little Animal Crossing character was there, and he was talking through the character.
Xbox shirt.
Yeah.
It's like an Xbox shirt.
It's pretty cute.
I'll have to go check that out. That's awesome. But yeah, so Forza Horizon 3 is my favorite pick. It's my favorite game on Xbox. And so, like I said, dear listeners, these are the best on Xbox. So you guys can enjoy those if you have an Xbox One. Or if you're getting an Xbox, you can play. I'm pretty sure you can play most of these on GamePass. But before we wrap up the show, we threw this question out to the folks over in the TRG Facebook group. And so here is the ranking of top 10 Xbox games as per the community. Number 10, and really several of these, we are on our list except for one of the games. And so their rankings are actually two of the games are not on any of our lists. So number 10 is Rocket League. Number 9 is Halo 5. I would debate on that one. The multiplayer, yes. Story, But Number 8 is Recore. Number 7, Sunset Overdrive.
That was going to be on my list, and it was for a few days,
Uh-huh.
but it got bumped down. But that is another honorable mention. It's Spider-Man on Xbox.
I'm a little surprised it wasn't on your list, because I remember like you were the one telling me so much about it, and you're like, dude, you need to play it. It's really good. And then I played it and I was like, it's all right.
You're the one who told me to play it. Well, you've mentioned it on the podcast.
No.
Podcast? Yes, you did. You mentioned it on the podcast. We're like, hey, if you do the censorship to bleep out all the cuss words, it makes it even funnier. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, he's right. That's hilarious.
I did say that. I remember this now.
Memory lane.
Hey,
I'm old.
It's a cool story.
Memories are hard. Anyway, so number 6, they put Forza Horizon 4. Number 5, they picked Sea of Thieves. Number 4, they picked Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
Oh.
Number 3, they picked Cuphead. And number 2, they picked Ori and the Blind Forest. And at number 1, the community picked Halo Master Chief Collection, which makes sense. There's a lot of Halo fans in the TRG Facebook group, so that makes sense that the Chief would come out on top and reign supreme on the list. But dear listeners, as always, let us know what your favorite games on Xbox are, and a little more fun, what are some Xbox games that you're looking forward to, especially now that Xbox bought Bethesda and opened up the possibility of a Fallout New Vegas 2 and all sorts of fun stuff. So who knows what we'll see in the future, but let us know, and we'll talk about it on all of our socials. But guys, before we let you go, this is our patron thank you episode. As always, folks, over on patreon.com/thereformedgamers, support us over there by pledges as low as $1 or even all the way up to the higher end tiers. They continue the show going. Wow, words are really hard. They keep the show going, and we will shout them out every month. And those folks are Alex Castellanos, Andre Swan, Andrew Steedman, Ashley Cronenbitter, Caleb Schmidt, Christopher Commander, Colin Gregory, David B., David Matthews, Derek Smith, Jake Walker, James Barker, Joanne Monroe, Josh Broccolo, Kokoro Daki, Mark Fromme, Matthew White Chocolate McDougal, Melvin Benson, Micah Hendrick, Michael Toller, Nate McKeever, Retro Rewind Podcast, Sam White, Samuel Kalunga, third strongest mole, Weatherman Keith, and Wesley Ray. Y'all, thank you so much for supporting us on patreon.com. Greatly appreciate that.
Strongest.
He's the third strongest. We don't know what happened to the first and the second, but we have a feeling the third strongest mole knows what's up.
It's a bronze medal.
It's a bronze.
The names that people make up are crazy. I remember one time we killed someone in Apex.
And what was his name?
Was so bad.
Yeah. What was the name?
A delicious fart.
This kid's joke. A delicious fart. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Gamer tags.
Oh, wow.
Like, we see it on the top corner and we're like, a delicious fart.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like, okay.
I will say that's the one thing I miss about playing Halo on the Xbox is you always ran across like some goofy gamer tags like that, and it always made the night a little bit better.
They don't have goofy gamer tags on PlayStation?
I mean, they do. Well, I can't really call them goofy. It's just ones I can't really repeat on this podcast because, well, yeah, they're bad. So moving along, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Reformed Gamers talking about Xbox games. But before I let y'all go, what is your reco that you have for the dear listeners to check out? I don't know why I stumbled on that sentence, but go for it.
All right, I'll start. So obviously check out the Project xCloud. Well, they changed it. It's not like called Project xCloud anymore. It's called Cloud Gaming for the Xbox app. Hopefully they get to have that available for iOS. That'd be great. I know it actually had me jump ship from iPhone to Android. And a decision like that, wow. I never really made a decision to leave, a certain company for the other, but this is one of those rare occurrences like, hey, I have GamePass into the end of next year and I didn't want to miss out on the game streaming. So definitely recommend that. If you are going to do that, I do recommend the Razer Kishi controller. If you use those if you use a regular Xbox controller with the clip, The issue with that is that you will have latency with the Bluetooth inputs. So you will see the latency lag as you're hitting the buttons. So with the Razer Kishi, since it's being plugged in directly to USB-C, it feels like I'm playing like an Xbox Switch. It's a lot more smoother, and it actually reacts better to the button pushes as opposed to just using the clip. So I recommend that. I also recommend, if you're a hardcore Xbox guy or a gal, try to utilize the Microsoft Rewards. I have been using the Microsoft Rewards for over 2 years in anticipation of a new console. And I was able to save up to $375 worth of Microsoft Rewards just for doing the different quests on Xbox and using Bing. I know Bing as a search browser. Haha, laugh at me all you want. But because of that, I'm laughing back at you because I was able to pre-order the Xbox Series S for a FIA without any money out of pocket. It was all through Microsoft Rewards. So definitely recommend that. How about you, Fia? Any recommendations for anything?
I'm just going to blast through this. Play Apex Legends, everyone. And if you want to play that, play Titanfall, okay? Because you have to play it if you want to understand these things. Also, I recommend Bloodstain and the Ritual of the Night. Oh. I rarely played that game, but it seemed fun. It's like a Castlevania type. But Ori, both the Oris, played those too. And yeah, games are fun. No more things of hard. Games are fun. That's the word of the day. The sentence of the day.
Words are hard, but games are fun.
Amen to that. Man, that can be a new tagline for the show. Words are hard, but games are fun. I love it. That's awesome.
Oh, wait, what's that? Child of Light.
Oh.
Play Child of Light. I love that game.
That's right. Another one you've beaten. That's right.
I'm just going to write down all these games. Man, dear listeners, you guys are going to be set for a while on some of these game recos. You got plenty to play. Probably not plenty of time, but try to fit them in as best you can. My picks, I'm going to be honest, I can't really think of any recos this week outside of just check out the website. All the great articles we got going up over there. Micah's doing a good job of knocking out the new stuff. Wes is knocking out a variety of things. Tyler's got another piece that he's working on. And then I'm writing a little bit here and there as well. Just go check out the website, thereformedgamers.com, and see what you think of that stuff. If you got any fun, there's any articles on there that you really like, share those across the internet, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or just walking up to someone at Chick-fil-A socially distanced and being like, hey, this is a great article. You should read it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do that. I don't know. And then, I don't know, maybe take one of their chicken nuggets and run away. I don't know. Just go share the articles with people.
In the name of the Lord.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
I'm just thinking of someone going and sharing an article with someone at Chick-fil-A, and someone's like, thanks, and they like take the chicken nugget and you're like, my pleasure, and you run off. I don't know. I thought that was funny. But yeah, the website, great stuff going up every week. There's new articles going up every week, and so enjoy that stuff there. As always, you guys can follow us on Twitter at TRG Podcast. You guys can like us on Facebook. You guys can follow us on Instagram. You guys can, which by the way, now that I bring that up, if you guys see any funny memes that get posted through there, it's always pretty much Steven making them and putting them out there. That some of our highest performing posts have been memes created by Steven. So if you guys have enjoyed those, it's because of this guy right here.
This guy is hilarious. I remember ever since the earliest days of my life, I remember just my mom laughing at his jokes and like how I wish I could understand them. And then once I got older, I like see his memes, and to this day, I'm like remembering how funny they are. Which if you want to just check out his Facebook account, The Wretched Memes.
Oh my goodness, yes, I have the Facebook account. But if you guys want to send me memes, they're chocolate to me. I love memes. Gets me go through the day. It's memes and coffee.
He also sends me memes once in a while.
I send you memes too.
This is hilarious.
I'll be sending you memes during work. I'm like, oh, here you go, baby. I saw this meme. Enjoy your day, honey.
Or you're like, I made this meme. I'm like, you made that?
That's awesome.
Well, thank you for having us on the show, Logan.
Yeah, man. As always, thank you for joining on. And just as always, guys, if you want to keep up with us, the website's the best way to do it. It has links to everything. Links will be in your show notes as well. But just continue checking the website, continue following us and interacting with us everywhere that we are. And we'll stay connected to you all that way as well. Like I said, I stream every Friday and Saturday over on Twitch.com. Twitch.com does not exist. Twitch.tv/TheTheologan. You guys can follow me up there. Like I said, I'm trying to complete Concrete Genie and all that stuff. Words are so hard. It's just a cue for me to be like, you know what, Logan, it's time to wrap up the show. You're done, dude. You're gonna just see it's already happening. I'm like losing literally what I'm thinking as I'm saying it. That sentence doesn't make any sense. Dear listeners, thank you for tuning into this episode of the Reformed Gamers. And be a deer, keep it locked here, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The Reformed Gamers, the podcast all about theology and gaming. TRG is edited by Deer Ear Productions, so thank them for the buttery smooth tones in your ear. If you're looking for extra content, head on over to youtube.com/TheReformedGamers. The Reformed Gamers is entirely fan-supported over on patreon.com/ReformedGamers by our dear patrons. The following deer are at the producer level or higher and will forever be thanked at the end of each show, as long as their pledge comes through, or we forget to update the audio. Those people are David Matthews, Colin Gregory, and Wesley Ray. Thank you for your support on patreon.com, keeping our controllers charged, and supporting Logan in his never-ending quest to collect them all. Platinum trophies, that is. So be a deer and keep it locked here. Keep listening. We'll catch you later.